Good morning, Zimbabwe, and welcome to On the Spot News, brought to you right here on Zimbabwe Daily. My name is Yvonne Muchaka, and I'll be reading the news. In our headlines, City of Harare refuse collection in limbo. Census seekers continues as respondents threaten enumerators. Clements Momberume pushes for Noah Taguta's exhumation. Felix still Ndabazinduna chief, says the Ndeweni clan. And now for the news in detail. The city of Harare is reportedly operating with 7 trucks at any given time, servicing Harare's 46 wards. Garbage has been piling in most parts of Harare, including the city center, at a worrying rate as the local authority is battling to collect refuse over the past few months, citing a severe shortage of refuse trucks. The high density areas are the worst affected as residents are usually financially hamstrung to hire the private collectors, forcing many to resort to dumping garbage at illegal dump sites, which pose a serious health hazard. This was exposed during a tour by the Deputy Mayor Councillor Mpamonde, exposing serious technical challenges at the townhouse. There are fears that data being collected from the ongoing census could be heavily compromised amid reports that enumerators are heavily disgruntled and have encountered violent hostilities from respondents. Government spokesperson Nick Mangwana has said there have been several reports of enumerators being assaulted, while one had to be sacked after she turned up for work in a drunken stupor. He said assault cases are currently being handled by the police. Government has availed 98 million United States dollars to the Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency ZimStat for the 2022 population and housing census. The census conducted by the statistics agency every 10 years aims to find out how many people are living in the country. The late Joanne Marange Apostolic Church leader Noah Taguta's brother, Clements Momberume, has been granted an interim interdict barring the sect from using the sacred burial shrine he was buried at in Mafararikwa village in Mutare. The legal challenge could result in exhumation of his remains from the sacred Chinyamkumba mountain in Marange. Momberume was granted a prohibitory interdict by Mutare High Court last Wednesday. He filed the application through his lawyers Maunga Mahanda and Associates on the basis of the separation of family and religious affairs and retained the court's favor on an interim basis. The order was filed and awarded last week Wednesday, which is on the same day Taguta was buried at the church's shrine, in a twist that pits church leaders with Momberume, who also runs a splinter group dubbed the Joanne Marange Simon Branch. The first and second respondent include Saratio Taguta and Titus Taguta, respectively brothers to the late high priest. Mutare Magistrate Langton Carter granted an interim relief order, and further hearing on the matter is set for April 19th. A Marondera teenager, aged 15, was electrocuted and died on April 17th while attempting to steal ZESA copper cables from a 200 kilovolt transformer. It is reported that the minor was accompanied by 2 friends, aged 13 years and 11 years old, when the incident happened. ZESA says it has lost 4.4 million United States dollars worth of equipment in 2021 through vandalism and 4.3 million United States dollars in the previous year. Self-styled witch hunters, commonly known as Tsikamtandas, are wreaking havoc in Manicaland province, where they are ripping off unsuspecting villagers of their livestock in the guise of cleansing their homesteads of goblins. This was revealed by Manicaland police spokesperson Inspector Norbert Muzondo at a training workshop in Mutare over the weekend, organized by Joanne the Fifth of Africa International Church leader and by Makururu. The workshop was attended by over 100 prophets who were equipped with management and leadership style skills. Government yesterday increased prices of petrol and diesel by 23.78% and over 18% respectively, a move that economists say will result in a hike in prices of basic goods and services and further erode disposable incomes of workers. The fuel price increases come a week after the price of bread was increased from 225 RTGs to 350. Before they were increased, diesel cost $1.60 or 213 Zim dollars, while petrol cost $1.59 or $213. Government also reintroduced fuel blending with ethanol to E10. Economists say the recent fuel hikes will exert inflationary pressures on the economy and deter economic growth. The Ndiweni clan insists Felix Hlathayamangwe Ndiweni is still the substantive chief of Ntabazinduna despite being dethroned by the government in 2019. In December 2019, President Emerson Mnangagwa dethroned the firebrand traditional leader, ordering the immediate seizure of his regalia as well as state property, including the government-availed car. Chief Ndiweni's lawyers filed an urgent chamber application at the High Court, and the matter is yet to be heard. The late Chief Kayisa passed away on August 10, 2010. The clan also said the late chief's wife, Ugogoma Soko, who passed away 2 years ago, wrote in her will that is now at the High Court saying she left everything of the clan Deweni of Ntabazinduna under the authority of Felix Nhlahla Ndiweni. There was pandemonium during ZANU-PF Mashonaland West Youth League elections in Chinhoyi as party youth traded blows and threatened to kill each other on Sunday. The riotous situation saw ZANU-PF Chinhoyi District Chairman Job Mawata locking the door to prevent his rivals from accessing the command center where election results were being announced. The election, which had to be abandoned because of the violence, were to select candidates that will represent the province at next week's Crunch Youth League conference. Provincial Youth League Chairman Tapiwa Masenda was also targeted for victimization. He threatened to beat the election supervisor, Provincial Affairs Minister Mary Mliswa Chikoka, who doubles as ZANU-PF provincial chairperson. By the time the situation turned violent, polls to elect representatives for Chegute and Kadoma were yet to be conducted. A local investor is suing the Prosecutor General Nelson Mutonziwa and his deputy Michael Reza for causing his prosecution over what he believes is an unsubstantiated allegation. Joseph Richard Kronkovich seeks to stop his criminal prosecution in a matter in which he is being accused of forging the signature of one Fungai Muparadzi in a business deal, saying Mutonziwa and Reza made a rash decision to arraign him before the court. The businessman has been summoned to appear before the court 7 years after the alleged crime was committed. The Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, ZAC, yesterday said it was going after officials at the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority who it accuses of fueling corruption at the borders. The anti-graft body said the country's borders had become enablers of high-level criminal activity, including drug trafficking, livestock theft, money laundering, and smuggling of minerals, which it says is costing the country about 1.8 billion per annum in illicit financial flows. ZAC has lately been targeting cross-border transporters to stop rampant smuggling of goods and human trafficking. The sting operation has egged transport operators who feel they were being unfairly treated. And now we turn to sport. A hotly contested football match turned tragic after two men were beaten to death by an angry mob in Gokwe last week. Police said the two, Pardon Muchaite, aged 22, and Edmo Murindiwa, aged 23, initiated the violence by stabbing six football fans following a dispute over how the match proceeded at Dzire Business Center on Independence Day. This did not go down well with the rest of the fans, who then turned on them. Midlands police spokesperson Emmanuel Mahoko confirmed the incident. Mahoko said other spectators then teamed up and overpowered the two. On arrival at the scene, Mahoko said police found Muchaite and Murindiwa lying in a pool of blood with multiple injuries. By that time, the mob had already dispersed. They were ferried to Gokwe District Hospital for treatment, but Murindiwa was pronounced dead on arrival. Muchaite passed on later the same day. And we cross over across the borders where we see Vitalis Chikoko, the Zimbabwe's basketball team captain, who is plying his trade in France for Paul. He won and walked away with the most valuable player for 2022 title at the French Cup. His team also won the French Cup in 2022, which cup the team had not won in 15 years. So Vitalis Chikoko contributing to the breaking of that 15-year drought at his team. It's a French name. I'll try to read it. Elan Bene Pula, something like that. Thank you so much for tuning in to Zimbabwe Daily as we gave you the news on the sport headlines right here on Zimbabwe Daily. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of day.